Are you a digital product seller looking to start running Pinterest ads to your Etsy store? Well, this video is for you. I'm walking you behind the scenes this week on how to set up proper tracking for your Etsy ads on Pinterest, as well as your overall campaign strategy to find and attract brand new buyers into your Etsy store. So without further ado, let's dive right on into the tutorial and I'm gonna walk you through every step. I need to show you how to set up proper tracking for your Etsy store. That way you actually have everything in place that you need before you turn the ads on. So as we get started, what I want you to do is actually go to your Google Analytics. You're going to be using Google Analytics 4 because Universal Analytics was actually retired over the summer of 2023. So you are going to go to Google Analytics 4. I'm going to assume you already have it set up. This video is not for that. You will need to find another tutorial if you don't have Google Analytics 4 set up. Now, once you are in your dashboard, it should look something like this, and you're going to go to this little admin tab down here at the bottom, and then you're gonna go to data streams in the middle, right here, and then you will have a data stream here populating, and you're gonna open that up. You need this measurement ID right here, and you're going to put that into your Etsy shop. So we're gonna actually dive right into the shop manager over on Etsy. If I'm moving too quickly for you, please feel free to slow the video down or pause, grab your links, and then come back. Once you are inside your Etsy dashboard, we have the measurement ID copied. We're in the Etsy dashboard. You're going to go to Settings and Options. It does not make any sense to me either, but that's where it's at. Go to Web Analytics and paste your property ID here. I already have mine in there, so that's what we want to do. Save that, and then what you can do now is you can do one of two things. You can set up a special link with a sale or a discount and drive all of your ads towards that, and then once you see how many uses it has and you know you're only sending traffic from this one place, from Pinterest, to that link, then you can either track your sales that way, or if you would like to see them inside of analytics, then you will want to set up a UTM code. So let's talk briefly about setting up UTM codes, because if you have an Etsy store, I'm going to assume you already know how to set up your sale links. So what we actually need to do is grab our share links from our listings. And on Etsy, I'm just going to go to listings and I'm going to grab a link from one of my products. I'm not super familiar with this, so it's easier for me to actually grab it from the front end of my store. So let's just say I want to use this link here. I'm going to use the share and save tool feature and click that link. And then I already have a UTM sheet set up, and it makes automatic UTM codes for me. And you can see here I had previously set up UTM codes, and I'm actually refilming this tutorial because I realized I walked you through the link setting up backwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste that link in here, and then we are going to take the information that we need from our Etsy ads, and we're going to stick it in to this row, this column. And then it's going to spit out a UTM code. Now you're going to need to know how to get this little piece of information right here. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to actually launch an ad, and then we're going to launch it in drafts, and then we're going to get that little piece of code, and then we're going to add our UTM code to it. So go into your campaigns. For this campaign, we're going to be launching a consideration campaign. More on this in a few minutes. Give it a name. So for this one, I'm going to be promoting Pinterest pins on my Pinterest pin templates. So let's just call it Pinterest pin templates. This is not going to match the video later because, again, I'm having to refilm this, but that's okay. Launch it in paused. Change your budget to daily, give it a daily budget, so we're gonna say $15, and then leave this box checked because we do want that flexible daily budgeting option available to us. Navigate over to the ad group and give it a name, whatever you wanna do. I like naming my ad groups based on targeting. So keywords and interest with expanded targeting. And then you are going to swoop on down to the ads section at the very bottom, and you're just gonna add a dummy ad for now. We don't actually care about the ad at this moment. We're going to just launch this entire campaign in paused, and we're gonna worry about actually adding the images that we want later. So come back over to the left-hand corner and click publish. We're gonna add all of our targeting, all of our demographics, all of our actual images we care about in the actual campaign strategy part of this video. But this is the UTM parameter that I need to add, which is your campaign ID. You're gonna come over here and you're gonna put it in that box for campaign ID. Now your source is gonna be Pinterest. Your medium is gonna be cost per click. This is a cost per click campaign. You're only billed if someone actually clicks on your ads. So it's going to be Pinterest, cost per click, and the campaign ID. Now there's another place that you can make UTM codes for free where you don't actually have to purchase my Pinterest system in order to get an automatic UTM code builder. Go to GA Dev Tools. And it's this one right here, ga-dev-tools.google. Click that, toggle it over to GA4, and then click Campaign URL Builder. And then we're gonna get that same URL, we're gonna put that in there, we're gonna grab that same campaign ID, we're gonna put that in there. Campaign source, remember, is Pinterest. Medium is cost per click. And then if there's additional information that you wanna put in, like maybe every ad that you have, every ad image you have, you wanna differentiate it. So maybe you have a red one, a blue one, and a green one. And you wanna differentiate in your analytics which one's performing the best. You could add additional campaign content, but these are not required. Then you're gonna copy that link right there, and that's what you're gonna save for later. Now, that is the link building, tracking part of this whole thing. When you actually are in Google Analytics, how you find your information, you're gonna go to acquisition and traffic acquisition. Then you're gonna go down here, it's automatic to default channel grouping. You're going to change it to source or session campaign. And then you're gonna see here in the session campaign column, the names of the campaigns. These are emails I've sent. These are shop listings in my Shopify store. This is a Facebook ad campaign that I was running. So you can see that these campaigns are, varied. Your Etsy UTM campaign will show up here, and it will be the name of your campaign. That's it. That's how you find it in here once you get that far. Now in Etsy in your dashboard, you can also dive into your analytics to see more about that and where people are coming from. I don't really care to walk you through that in this particular video because you're probably better at navigating your Etsy store than I am. Okay, on to the campaign strategy part. Your Etsy store is going to be different than if you were advertising to, let's say, a Shopify store or your own website or your own funnels. Because Etsy is a third-party platform and we don't actually have the ability to track conversion events, we do have to set up a consideration campaign. So when I was talking you through the actual UTM code and marketing setup earlier in the video, I went ahead and set up this campaign for us so we can get the campaign ID. Now what I want you to do is go in and click edit, and we're actually going to set this up as if we were setting it up strategically. So we have the campaign name, we have the type, we have everything ready to go. We're gonna set up a real budget, a daily budget, and I'm gonna set this up for $15 per day. Just because I want to see what happens in my store after a week. The traffic that gets there, if they buy on that coupon code. I already have the products in my store at a very low rate as it is, so let's see if it drives conversions. So $15 a day, anything less than 10 is going to really be difficult to drive conversions. So we want to do a higher budget than $10 a day. I generally, for conversion campaigns, will not set a budget less than $20 per day, but because this is a consideration campaign and it is billed per click, meaning that someone doesn't actually charge your ad, you don't actually pay Pinterest for the ad until a pinner clicks on it. So what I mean by that is on Pinterest, let me just take you to the home feed so I can visually show you what this looks like. In my home feed, if I were to click on an ad right now, let's say this one, and this is actually a retargeting campaign in catalog because I was just shopping for this on my iPad on their website. But if I were to click on an ad, let's say this one right here, and let's just say she's running a traffic campaign. If I click on that, I'm not going to get billed until the pinner clicks on that ad. So in conversion, conversely, you actually get billed per 1,000 views of your ad. So in consideration, we can stomach a slightly lower daily budget simply because of the way it's billed and the auction. Now, I wouldn't suggest anything less than $10 per day. You're really just not going to see as many sales ongoing if you have a really low budget. Okay, we can hash out budgets all day long, but let's go ahead and get into the campaign setup, so our actual strategy. Now, I went back in and edited this campaign a little bit, but I do want to walk you through the process of setting up a cold top of funnel campaign. So visualize a funnel being that, and I actually have one of these in my most recent edits over on Canva. So our funnel is awareness, consideration, purchase. Awareness is top of funnel, consideration is middle of funnel, and purchase is bottom of funnel. So we really want to do a cold top of funnel campaign with interest and keywords to find new audiences for our ads. Now, a general rule of thumb is to do for every $100 you spend, 3 to 4 million people in your audience. So this is clearly over that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go play with our interests to see how we can define those down. Now, when you are in your targeting strategy, when you first set up your campaign to get your campaign ID, you chose your own strategy here. That is then going to open up this next section of targeting details here. And if you open up this section right here, interests and keywords, you will be brought to this screen. Now, expanded targeting means that it's going to reach people that are searching for topics relevant to my ads. In my case, Pinterest may serve my ads to people looking for Instagram templates for Canva because they are looking for templates for Canva. And if they're looking for Instagram, they may be interested in my topic as well. That's what expanded targeting means. Now, this is lumped into automatic when you actually look at your ad results later. We're not going to talk about that today. However, you might as well leave it on if this is you're new to Pinterest and you're looking for new audiences. Now, in the keywords and interest tab, let's talk interest first. I like to actually go in and select items that are a lower level interest. A lower level interest meaning this design is a level 1 interest, books and magazine is a level 2 interest. Everything above a level 1 is actually only going to show you a level 1 in your reporting. Everything below level 1 will not be broken down in your reporting metrics. Let me show you what I mean by that, because this is very important for making sure that you select the right interests and that you are understanding what interests are actually driving sales. So I have a campaign here, this one right here. We're going to select that campaign name. Then you're going to select in the ad group, you're going to select targeting breakdown by interest. And then you're going to see here all of the interest within the overall interest that I chose. So the overall interest that I chose was finance, but within finance, I chose financial planning, insurance, loans, and real estate. But then within business advertising and design, or design, I chose business advertising, design, books and magazines, and so on. So you want to come in and actually define this down a little bit more. We don't actually want to choose all of these, we want to choose the ones that are the most appropriate. So maybe I don't actually want to choose packaging and label design, packaging, luxury packaging. Maybe I don't want to do that. So then I could just uncheck that box and get rid of it. And then you can see how that reflects in our overall campaign metrics. Now this is just an estimate. This is not 100% correct. So just be aware of that. Okay, so I know these interests have worked well for me in the past, just based on past conversion metrics. You can see here, business advertising and design resulted in a decent amount of sales. Finance and financial planning also worked for me in the past. However, I don't want to get too big here. Now, moving on, we want to click Add Keywords. In the keywords section, you have a couple different options to actually find keywords for your Pinterest ads. The first way is obviously right here inside of the Extend Your Reach Search for Related Keywords box. Another way that you can find keywords is over here on Pinterest, right inside the search bar. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on how to find keywords today. You can definitely go watch my SEO video if you're interested in that. But let's just look for a previous topic that we looked for. And then we're going to select all pens, and you will start to see bubbles here and then things in the autofill. You can add those keywords to your campaign as well. Now you want to add campaign keywords that are relevant to the topic at hand. I have also added keywords that previously worked for me in the past. I know this based on adding keywords to my campaigns and following through and looking for keywords in the ad group based on attribution of conversions with leads or checkouts. And then I went back and added those keywords back into the campaign. So 2022, obviously that's outdated, but people are still looking for that. I also added 2023. Now, I also added keywords related to Etsy marketing, holiday marketing, Pinterest for business, Pinterest templates, Canva template keywords. And another thing that I might decide to add to this later would be things related to other tools that I know my audience would be searching for, so my ad could be put in front of them. For example, they might be looking for workflow videos or tips on how to make their workflow for their business better. They might be looking for graphic design tips and tailwind tips. So those are 3 buckets of keywords I could do research on and add keywords in here later. Now, one of the most frequently asked questions I get is how many keywords should I add to my campaign? Pinterest up here at the top, when you very first start adding, they say use a minimum of 25. I like to add anywhere from 100 to 150. Pinterest reps will vary, but my most recent one told me 75 to 150. Somewhere in that range will be perfectly fine. Now we are going with a broad keyword strategy here, meaning that my keywords are without quotes, there are no brackets, there's no negative match or phrase match or anything like that. You can see what those look like here on the screen. So we're going with broad match keywords, meaning if someone searched Pinterest ad examples Etsy, my pin should show up in that search results because my keyword is Pinterest ad examples. All right, moving on from our targeting, we are going to set up our demographics. Now, I've said this in previous videos, and I will say it again. I do not market to men specifically. If you're a male and you're watching this video, that's fine. Hello and welcome, but I don't advertise to you and I don't spend my advertising dollars on men because men on the platform are so much fewer. They are so few. As it is, and we can actually look at this and validate it in my audience insights as well. So 26% of my audience on Pinterest are men, but 72% are female or unspecified, so that's where I'm going to put the majority of my money. Now, when it comes to ages, I don't like to predefine them right away, but I also don't particularly like promoting to people that are older. Nothing wrong with people being older and wanting to do marketing. I just know that it comes with a lot more questions and it comes with a lot more time investment on my part. So I love ya, but I have to make sure that my time is spent well. And sometimes that means I don't market to anyone over the age of 55. My own mother is over the age of 55, and that means that she would not see my ad. And I'm okay with it. So you have to make some decisions here. Now, I do have clients where we don't market under the age of 25 either, but I'm okay with that demographic for my own ads. So take this and really decide how you want to present your ads and who you want to present your ads to. Now, you do not want to stranglehold your demographics from the beginning, so don't get so well defined here. Actually, I don't want you to touch anything else in the demographics section. Only gender and only ages is the thing I want you to touch right away, depending on your business and who's going to be in your audience grouping. Now, again, I can tell you based on audience insights that very few people in my audience are actually older people. So that means I can actually prioritize my budget to the people that are more active in my audience. And that is the primary reason why I don't choose those people in my targeting. Leave everything else alone, like I mentioned. Now, if you are in another country, let's say because I have a UK account and we are currently promoting to Etsy, in your locations, you will need to go and select the US if you want to promote to the US. So if you're watching this video and you're like, oh, don't touch anything else, but you're actually not in the US and you want to promote here, then you do need to make sure you add your location, or your target locations, that is. Now, under placement and tracking, you want to leave this on all and don't touch anything in that section. And then moving on down for optimization. There's two distinct optimization methods here. For any cold campaigns, I really would suggest just leaving it on pin clicks. However, if you are looking for people that are more likely to click off of Pinterest and go to your website, then you might choose outbound clicks. Just know that your audience sizing is going to probably be fewer. We are going to just leave it on pin clicks for this campaign, and like I said, I would suggest that for you as well. For bidding, we're going to leave it as automatic. Don't touch this because most people don't actually know how much they pay per click. I have campaign data to back this up, so if I actually wanted to look and pay per click based on ads that have performed in the past, then I have data to back up a decision for a cost per click. So I could say $1.50 for my bid if I wanted to. Ad group status is obviously active, and this is where we are going to choose our pins. So let's talk briefly about pin creation and creating pins for your ads imagery and what that should look like, or what it could look like as far as your campaign goes. So one thing that you want to be aware of is if you are running a sale, you might want to change your call to action from the original maybe shop now call to action to whatever your sale is, and you will then pair that with the sale link that you create in your Etsy sale dashboard. So I went and created 3 different images. 2 are Christmas related for gift guides. These are tall pins, these are short pins. And then I created an aesthetic. I really like this pack and I want to promote it more, so I created an aesthetic Pinterest templates image as well. Now, a couple of things that you should know. You want to use your main keyword for that Pinterest pin as part of your text overlay if possible. Now, we are talking about digital products here, so you want to showcase your digital products where possible as well. There are templates inside of Canva that you could create. So if you searched mockup, there are templates here that you could use instead of using something that you make instead. So if you wanted to go that route, these templates are obviously from my Etsy and Shopify stores, and I sell templates. So if you were looking for something specific, you could also look at my stuff. But for the sake of this video, I really want you to showcase the product. That's the whole point of this, is to show the product and what someone is going to get when they buy. Now, when it comes to digital planners, things like that, you might also test out a video pin. And I could make these animated and make them video pins, but you don't want to mix a video pin and a static pin in the same campaign, because the video pin is probably going to steal all of the spend and the static pins aren't going to be able to be seen. So for the sake of this very simple campaign setup for Etsy ads for Pinterest, we're going to just stick with static pins. So if you have questions in regards to video pins and best practices, leave those in the comments. But for now, we're going to do static pins, and we are going to show off our product, and we are going to use a text overlay that matches what people would be searching for on Pinterest for the product. So I'm going to take you to Pinterest, and I want to just briefly show you what someone would look for when it comes to those pins. So they might search Pinterest templates gift guides, and then you can see here all the different pins that could be used for gift guides, as well as people's gift guides because they're showing up here. So you kind of want to follow that philosophy. I don't like sticking in and being the same as everyone else. So you can see here, I am trying to stand out with my own branding, but it's going to be really hard because of the style of pin. So if you want to get more strategic with it, you can definitely do that. We're just going to go with what I already know has worked in the past for my Pinterest account. So you've seen me actually create some pins or talk about the pins and the design that you should have for your digital products. In this section, you're going to actually bring those pins into the campaign itself. Now, in the beginning of this, when I was showing you how to find a campaign ID to create your UTM parameters, I showed you how to add a dummy image to this campaign. What we're going to do is click pause on that because we don't want it to promote. And there's two ways that you can actually add images to your campaign. You can have them pull in from existing pins that you want to promote. So if that's the case, then you would want to find the the parameter that Pinterest has assigned to it. So you're going to go to the actual Pinterest pin and just pull these numbers in. Go to select pins in the search bar here. You're going to paste that in, and it's going to pull that image up. Now you could pull this in from analytics. You could pull this in from previous campaigns that you've ran. You could pull it in from just pins on your campaign, like your Pinterest profile. Wherever that is, you can pull that in from there. So you would just choose whatever image that is and choose that URL number there, and then paste that in. Now, the other way is obviously to upload the pins directly into your ads manager. So you could click here and create an ad, and then you would add it to either a public board or a promoted pin board, however you want to do that. I've gone ahead and actually uploaded all of my Pinterest pins previous to turning the screen recording on. So all three of the ones that I want to promote are right here in live. So I'm just going to come in and pull those in. You do want to add a Pinterest description to the pins, and you want to make sure that it includes some keywords from your campaign keywords that you want to actually be known for, be seen for, be indexed for, all of the above. So once we've selected those, we're going to click add, and it's going to say add 4 pins. You might ask yourself, there's only 3 selected, why would it say add 4? The 4th one is the dummy pin that you added before. Click add pins, and you're going to be brought to this screen. Now this is just the listing. We actually want the UTM parameter that we set up earlier. So based on the images, you want to grab the correct UTM parameter that you set up. Remember, I set up 3. So we have holiday 1. I'm going to assign that to this one. We have holiday 2. That's going to be this one. And we have aesthetic, and that's going to be the aesthetic pin. Now you might see this ad tracking URLs for pin clicks and stuff. We're not going to talk about that today. Just ignore that and put your UTM parameter in here. And then you are actually ready to launch. That's it. You have created your full campaign. Now you are launching into paused unless you navigated that back on to, let me show you, in the campaign screen. Unless you turned it to active here, it's going to say paused. So you can either turn it to active in the edit screen, or you can just toggle it on here, and you will start to see that campaign run within 24 hours. And that's it. That's how you set up a campaign for your Etsy store from Pinterest. And eventually you will be able to even see your data, should be able to see your data inside of your Google Analytics as well because you connected the property to Etsy. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. All right, now that you know how to set up your Pinterest ads to promote your Etsy store to new buyers, perhaps you need to know how to set up an overall organic Pinterest marketing strategy as well. Head on over here to this video and watch the Etsy Pinterest marketing strategy video, and I will see you over there.